Hello, I'm Stan Hall. Welcome to this edition of the Gwinnett Sports Commission's Get in the Game. Today, as you can see, we're on the campus of Georgia Gwinnett College, which has turned out to be the home of champions based on their past results. And our guest today is Dr. Darren Wilson, who's the athletic director here at Georgia Gwinnett College. Darren, first of all, thank you for being on the show and welcome. We appreciate you being here.
Well, Stan, thanks so much. We appreciate you all being here.
Absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about your past year, and please forgive me if I read this, but I want to make sure that the viewers know just how much you guys did last year. Last year, the Grizzlies posted a 165, 42-4 record, which is a 782% winning percentage across all sports. 2 national championships in men's tennis and women's tennis, 16 All-Americans, 10 scholar athletes, 4 Coach of the Year honors at the conference on the national level. Tell me about the continuation of this all-sport success and how do you continue to do it? It's amazing.
Well, thank you. We've been very fortunate here. And I said way back almost 5 years ago now, which is hard to believe because in August will be 5 years since I've been here.
Right.
But I said at day one that I thought we could win, and I thought we could win nationally here because of where we sit, the types of resources we have, the support from our administration,
right.
And I knew that we would hire great people. And really we've done that. We've hired great people. We've built great facilities, and our coaches have done a great job bringing in tremendous student athletes who understand what it takes to compete on the fields and courts of competition, and also ones who understand what it takes to compete in the classroom.
Well, and you know, the 5-year mark is a big mark, but I remember when you guys first started, particularly after you came, trying to create the brand, trying to create that identity, even, Darren, on a local level. Absolutely. For the most part, but not only have you accomplished that, but talk a little bit about your notoriety outside of our area, even in Georgia and nationally a little bit.
Sure. We've really worked hard, again, with our staff and Ned Colgrove, who I know you're going to talk to in a little while, and just really trying to get our brand out there. As you can see in the background with what we call the G-Claw, there are a lot of G's in the state of Georgia, and this was one that we knew was going to be important for us, that people could recognize.
Right.
And as you mentioned, 3 or 4 years ago, we would be out and they wouldn't know what this G meant. Now they do, both locally and nationally. I've been fortunate to serve on a lot of national committees,
right.
which has been great. So it's really gotten our name out nationally within the NAIA. And it's just been one of those things where each year it's continued to grow and grow, just like our enrollment has. You know, we're going to be almost 13,000
Exactly.
students here in the fall.
Exactly.
And as we continue to grow as an institution, we continue to grow and build and compete nationally as an athletics department. It just helps not only us, the Grizzlies, it also helps Georgia Gwinnett College.
Well, and I think it's important for people to realize, particularly on the national championship aspect of what I read at the beginning of our show, but you've had 5 national championships in the past 3 years. I mean, that's a fairly amazing total. Did you see that coming?
I won't say that I saw 5 in the first 3. You know, I said I'd been here 5 years. We've been able to compete 3 years in terms of for postseason play and national competition. And so to be able to win those 5 national championships in 3 years, again, Coach Chase Hodges has just done a tremendous job. I mean, our men's and women's tennis program will stack up against anybody in the country, right. Regardless of division.
Right.
And now we've given them a facility that matches that. We've redone all of our courts up there with our logos and our colors and just a great surface. And so you put that with what Chase does on a daily basis, right. With those student athletes. They're as good as anybody in the world in terms of tennis players at the college level, and they've really been able to show that. Our men's tennis team's not lost in 2 years to an NAIA opponent, and just continues to be they grind and they grind and they grind. But the one thing they don't do is they don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
And you know, they have the best GPA of any program in our department, and just all around just great people.
Well, and let's talk about facilities a little bit, because you guys have great facilities here on campus, and the tennis center is certainly an example of that superior facilities you have. Is that important in you attracting athletes from other parts of the country to come here, the facilities you have available?
Well, absolutely. It's important for us as a department to attract them here, but it's also important for us, for the community, to be able to, for us to host our camps, and we host a couple summer leagues. We've got things going on from the softball standpoint this year. Soccer, we always have something going on our synthetic turf soccer stadium. So it's been a great recruiting tool for us, certainly from a a player standpoint, but it's also been one of those things that's really been a neat connection for us to the community as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess the good news is you've won 5 national championships in 3 years. The bad news is maybe that you've won 5 national championships in 3 years. So how do you keep that edge? How do you keep the momentum going as far as, new goals?
Yeah, well, we talk every year. We meet with our staff every year at the beginning of the year, and we talk about that. Last year, one of our key words was momentum, because we knew that we had won a couple national championships, and now the easy thing to do is kind of sit back and rest on your laurels, and that's the last thing we wanted to do. And how do you keep that momentum going? And fortunately, we were able to do that this year. And as we go into next year, we'll look at the same thing. We'll look at a new kind of phrase or word that will say, this is where we are now. Yeah, we feel like we're pushing the top. But we want to make sure we stay there.
Well, that's a problem that a lot of people wish they had.
Absolutely, it's always good to be the hunted rather than having to hunt.
Well, Darren, let's talk a little bit about NAIA. I mean, this is, and you said it before, there's a lot of G's in the state, and a lot of those G's are associated with ACC and SEC, NCAA, things such as that. NAIA, some people probably still aren't familiar with it. Tell us a little bit about it, because as you said, you're involved in it on a higher level than just here at this school.
Correct.
So talk about the NAIA. What does that mean and what does it represent?
Yeah, very similar, if you talk about competition, very similar to high level Division II. Even top 10 NAIA is a lot like a low level, even mid-major D1 in terms of competition. Yeah. Which a lot of people don't realize. The NAIA has been around for many years, was the first organization that had an integrated basketball tournament at the national level, which is pretty cool. It was in Kansas City. But it's been really rewarding for me to be able to, as you said, serve at the national level. I was president for the Athletic Directors Association this past year, and so we've really gotten active on a national level to make sure that the student-athlete experience is critically important on a campus.
Right.
And so, we want to make sure that not only are our athletes being treated well on the fields, but also off the fields, that we're doing life skills with them, that we're helping them beyond just their 3, 4, 2 years where they may be at an NAIA institution, that we're helping them as they go and they become men and women and husbands and wives and fathers as they go down the line. And so we want to make sure that we're really encapsulating a well-rounded student athlete.
Well, for an NAIA school, is there a desire to migrate to NCAA or not?
You ask me the $1 million question that I get a lot. To be an NCAA Division II institution, which is what we're a lot alike, and we sit right in the middle of the Peach Belt Conference in the state of Georgia. You got to have 10 sports. 2 of those need to be basketball, and so we're not ready for that yet. We don't have an on-campus facility in terms of funding. We're funded very well, and our students fund us extremely well. But in the state of Georgia, you only have 2 sources for funding, and that's a student fee or what we raise.
Right.
And so we don't want to tax our students anymore right now. Right. And so we're pretty happy with the 6 sports that we have, and we're happy that we're able to compete nationally in all 6 of those sports. And so as long as we're able to do that for the foreseeable future, we'll be right here in the NAIA.
Well, and I think one way to gauge the level of competition that you're talking about this morning is the after they leave here, where do they go? I know that you recently had 2 of your players who were drafted in a Major League Baseball draft. I think that speaks volumes about the quality of your athletes.
Absolutely. Each year we've had our baseball, at least a couple baseball players get drafted, still have several that are playing in the minor league system. So they're able to do that. They're able to further their careers that way. Of course, we've got a great college, and so they're getting a great degree as well as if they can't go on and play professionally. We've got a couple tennis guys that certainly will have the ability to scratch the professional surface once they're finished here. So yeah, it's really an opportunity to come in, whether they're freshmen coming out of high school or they're transfers. They go somewhere else, bigger school or a Division I type school, and they're not happy and they come back here. This is a great place to be, to get a quality education and play some really good athletics.
Well, keeping in that same topic about, you've been very successful very quickly. What do you tell folks about what's next for Georgia Gwinnett College?
Well, I tell them we're going to continue to do what we're doing, and we're going to continue to try to do it as well as we can. It would be really cool here to compete for a national championship in all 6 of our sports one year. We've done it in men's and women's tennis. We came a hair of doing it in baseball and softball this year. I mean, they were literally a couple outs away from going to the World Series on each side, and so I know our soccer teams are going to be even better this fall. So We want to continue to be a national player. We want to continue to be able to bring in student athletes who represent Georgia Gwinnett extremely well, represent Gwinnett County extremely well, and Lawrenceville extremely well, and that they'll hopefully go and they'll end up giving back to the institution one day and continuing this train that we've been able to start for 5 years now, and we just want to continue it on in the future.
Well, congratulations, first of all. I mean, I think it's amazing what you've been able to do here in a short period of time, and as a Gwinnettian, we're certainly proud of the accomplishments you made. Glad to have you here, and we appreciate you spending some time with us
Well,
today.
thanks so much again. I appreciate you all and all that you do and all that you do for our community
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Dan.
We're going to take a short break. We're here today at Georgia Gwinnett College talking about the athletic program. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. We're here today on the campus of Georgia Gwinnett College, and as we said in the first section, this has turned out to be the home of champions. In our first segment, we had a chance to visit with Dr. Darren Wilson, who's the athletic director here. And we'd like to now bring in the assistant athletic director, Ned Colgrove. And Ned, first of all, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks, Stan. It's great to be here with you. Good to see you again.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about what you do here, Ned.
Well, I'm the assistant athletic director, as you mentioned, for external operations. And most people usually say, okay, what in the world does that mean?
Yeah.
And as we've gotten to build this here now and having the chance to be here really since the beginning of Grizzly Athletics and as we build our staff, right now my focus is a lot of those external relationships that are really going to help take our program forward. So
Right.
certainly in the community and with you all, we've had a tremendous relationship. And really being able to develop those relationships from a sponsorship standpoint, certainly marketing efforts in the community, a lot of those things that people see externally looking in at our program.
We talked a little bit with Darren in the first section about the brand, if you will, and the Grizzly brand has certainly expanded and people are getting more and more knowledgeable about Georgia Gwinnett College, the Grizzly Claw as he talks about, but why are you a Grizzly? What made you want to be a part of all of this?
Who gets to do this? That's really, I had been at a previous institution in Atlanta, went to college here down the road at UGA and had worked at Georgia State down the road, and really the opportunity to build this from scratch, a lot of people don't get this chance, and that was something that when I came here and when I committed to being here and helping build this program, we didn't have the facilities yet. The vision had been cast by Dr. Wilson, and to his credit, it looks an awful lot like what he forecasts, and certainly I think we've even exceeded that from his leadership. And the opportunity to come and create something in this area, obviously there hadn't been a four-year institution in Gwinnett County, there hadn't been a collegiate athletics team. Right. We want to be Gwinnett's college team. Yeah. We've been able to certainly have some early success, but just the chance to come in every day and drive in the morning and think about, we've gotten 4 or 5 years into this, but there's still so much that we want to accomplish, and every day brings something new. So I'm here just because of the special opportunity that we have here, and that's really something that certainly burns in me each day when I come in and keeps me motivated and all the different things we have going on.
Absolutely. Well, and let's talk about that a little bit and we talked with Darren about you guys have had such big success in a short period of time. From the time you came here, Darren's been here 5 years or so. Talk about that vision from when he first came on, moving forward to where we find ourselves now with home of national championships.
It is incredible, and I think certain people out there are starting to see that. This doesn't happen very often.
Very seldom.
Not only do you build a brand new program, GGC, the first 4-year public college anywhere in the country in the 21st century, so that alone, the college and all the successes that the college has had, but we wanted that athletic program to certainly mirror that success and be something special that this area can be proud of. So getting to that level already, certainly from a standpoint on the tennis courts, winning conference championships in our different sports, and in softball and in soccer, and national reputation in baseball, and players drafted and competing for the World Series. It really brings out the best in all of us. I know I can speak for myself that the opportunity to contribute my talent and my energy and my effort into a program that's aspiring to be the standard nationally.
Yes.
What more can you ask for from an opportunity?
Totally agree. I think that with all things, relationship building is so important, and I know that you guys have really made some great strides in that too. As we talked about with Darren, coming from a point where it was just getting started and getting your name known here, you got to get out and convince, number one, your people locally first of what you're doing and how you're doing it. How has that been for you?
We're still not where we want to be, but that's the challenge.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing, especially in the last really probably 18 months.
Yeah.
To see out and about now when we wear our gear and when we're in the community and when we have meetings and things, and we meet with different people. And maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the first question was, probably I don't know where you work. I don't know that you had athletics. I maybe didn't even know that the college existed. Now it's, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much is going on over there. Tell me more about athletics. What sports do you have? What's next? What's the schedule? How can I find out about how to get tickets? And to just see that excitement growing and really have people embrace this as Gwinnett's college team is something special. So the challenge has just been simply education. That's been the number one challenge. From a marketing standpoint, we've really tried to identify who are those groups we can connect with externally and drive them out to our events. So, we had a fantastic event this past spring where we partnered up with the Lawrenceville Vet Center and veterans of combat that got to come out and experience a day here and use the suite and watch a game, and first responders and certainly all the groups on campus, and just partner with those different folks in the area and community leaders. Right. And when you connect with those groups, the awareness starts to spread. At first it was difficult, just trying to picture, okay, how are we going to actually get this county of upwards of almost 1 million people to? It felt like a big challenge. Right. And certainly the Metro Atlanta area and Southeast and around the country. But by targeting those specific groups, we've had a fantastic relationship with you all. And being engaged with those different sports entities in the Gwinnett area has been huge. And now all of a sudden that education piece that we talked about, it's not quite where we want it yet, but people are really starting to see, hey, what's going on over there? And I want to be a part of that.
Well, I think as far as continuing the message and broadening that message, you never want to say it's all about the money, but in some ways it is all about the money as far as the width of your message and how it's going to be delivered. Sure. And Darren talked in the first section about, the way you do that's either through student fees or the money that you guys raise. You're that guy that raises that money internally. How challenging has that been?
Well, like anywhere else, we have challenges. I think people, when they come over and they see the facilities, or they drive by, or they know what's going on, or they see the championships or the trophies, I think there's a little bit of that. I think we've cast certainly a vision and a perception of success and of a first-class operation. But at the same time, it's also my job to illustrate, okay, here's where the rubber meets the road. Here's how we do this. And here's how, if we're going to get to where we want to be, and we want to be a national contender, it's going to take resources. That's the bottom line. But what is incredible is I get to tell the story of what these resources are going toward. It's scholarship opportunities for student athletes from this area. Right. And from around the country, from around the world in some cases. Yeah. It's opportunities that these individuals in this area didn't have to start with. It's our travel costs. It's our chance to support postseason championships and fly teams across the country to compete for those trophies. And obviously that all takes resources. Our student athlete development that I know at the leadership of Dr. Wilson and Dr. Ian Potter, who does all of our internal operations, being able to develop people that can come in here and through their time at our institution and within our athletic program and Grizzly Athletics, leave and make an impact in their community. Those are all the things that we really, at the end of the day, raise dollars for, because it does take resources. And as you mentioned, it's up to, certainly from a student fee standpoint, and what we can raise. So primarily, what we've been doing from a fundraising standpoint, our corporate sponsorship program has been huge. It's allowed us to certainly raise dollars for our student athlete support, but it's been allowing us to connect our athletic program with brands in this area that are doing business here, that have customers here, that are passionate about this area and want to see this place succeed. And what better opportunity, you know, if you're a brand in this area, to be able to align yourself certainly with a program that's already, it's up and coming, but it's already established a track record of success. So we've been able to do some signage, some in-game elements, a lot of the more traditional things with sponsorship, and some new ideas. You know, we have a show that we do off-site every week, every Wednesday during the season. We get to partner with a local restaurant for that and really get to sit down and I have a conversation with these business owners and these marketing folks and say, okay, what are your objectives? Here's what we can provide. Here's what it looks like from the amount of folks that are coming to our games to you know, the events that we have throughout the year. We have, I mean, there's over 300 days a year at this facility where we have from our games to tournaments to the camps and clinics throughout the summer.
It's almost year-round.
It's a beehive. And so when people start to understand the eyeballs that are here, and at the same time they can align their brand and market their business, but feel like we're partnering. We're not going anywhere anytime soon, certainly we hope, and we want this to be an opportunity to grow with businesses in this area.
Well, and it's important also for people who have an interest in maybe getting involved with you guys on a sponsorship level that the price tag is not always sky high. There's several different levels of ways that people can get involved. Yeah,
and we do. We have our menu of options that we put out there for different folks that are interested, and it's everything from, you know, baseball and softball to soccer and tennis to within our, you know, our hospitality suite that we're sitting in right here. And also from maybe you're not a business owner, maybe you're not someone who's, you know, doing marketing for a company. We've also been fundraising through our Grizzly Club, which is our booster club that's allowed, you know, our parents, our fans, our folks out there in the community to grow that, and that support goes directly to the athletic program and specifically to the teams. So if you're interested in, you know, joining, all that information's on our website on grizzlyathletics.com, you know, from the Grizzly Club and ways to be involved and the different events and the banquets and AD events we have throughout the year to the sponsorship piece of it. It's an easy sell for me because I believe in what we're doing, and I know that there are a lot of folks in this area that are excited about what we're doing as well.
No doubt about it.
It's fun to be able to sell that.
Well, I'll ask you to finish up. I'll ask you the same question I asked Darren. You guys have had great success in a short period of time. Talk a little bit about the future. What are some of the things that are coming up that would make people want to get interested in the whole Grizzly experience?
Yeah, I think it's hard to know where to start, you know, when you ask that question, but certainly with this fall with soccer season, and I think we're going to be able to take this to another level, you know, on the soccer field and compete for championships and really continue that. You know, we have the 6 sports and every single one of them has championship expectations. You know,
absolutely.
You walk around this place.
It's expected.
It's not always said, but it's that energy where we feed off of each other. And no matter what we're doing or whether we're working on, you know, from media relations to, you know, getting our message out there to branding to certainly the coaches and the practices, there's just that energy of wanting to compete for championships and support each other in doing that. So that energy alone, I want people to know is here internally, and we hope that is illustrated externally. So just from a big picture standpoint, but certainly from a marketing perspective, we're excited. The college now has its own, it's just being installed currently as we speak, but a full digital billboard that's going right on Route 316, right along the highway there on campus. That we're going to be able to have our messaging up there, you know, for the thousands of cars a day that are passing by right there, and being able to put our, you know, our games, our events, and really just help with that education piece. And so we're excited that's going to be coming.
That'll be a great tool for you to use for sure.
Excited about that. We have, I mentioned our show that we do every Wednesday at Nuke's Eatery, right in Lawrenceville, and Duluth Highway and Lawrenceville Swanee. And that's a great marketing event for us to be able to get out in the community and have folks coming out and seeing, okay, what's going on this week? How can I pick up a schedule poster? How can I be involved? Win some prizes through trivia, meet the players, meet
Absolutely.
the coaches. So
Absolutely.
I would encourage people to come on out and check that out on Wednesdays.
Get a
at
great
noon.
meal, a great conversation all at the
That's
same
right.
time.
That's right. So there's a lot that's coming down the track, but really at the end of the day, it's about this experience for these student athletes.
Yeah.
And when you can see the effort that I get to see that they put in the classroom and on the practice field and in everything that they try and build into their program to be successful, truly the wins happen as a byproduct of all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
And when you have everything else in place, it's a lot easier to be successful on the field.
Well, Ned, thank you first of all for being with us, and I'll tell you, as I told Darren, you should be very proud of the accomplishments you've made. As someone who lives in the area, we're certainly proud to have you a part of this community, and you guys have done a great job, and thank you for visiting with us
Thank you.
today.
Really enjoyed it. Thanks, Stan.
Appreciate it so much. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of things going on at Georgia Gwinnett College. It's really just a pool of excitement, a pool of champions, and something we all need to get out and support, and I'm sure that each and every one of you will who are watching today. That's all the time we have today. Thank you for being with us. If you have questions or comments about today's show or ideas for future shows, you can reach us at the phone number or the email address shown at the end of the show. Thanks for being with us. I'm Stan Hall. I'll see you next time on Get in the Game. Goodbye.